Hello, since I was a kid, people have been confessing and recording that and how Connecticut courts are involved with sequence shifts and with a whole bunch of juxtaposed natures of organized crime with kids, not legal. Through and like they have crime methods where they pretend people to fake locations with others. They're lying into databases about people through their lifetimes. Now, this is relevant also because these are people who other people rely on that. For example, when people are trying to use logic without criminal foreign influences, without prevented free speech, they interbranch where they're involved with child offenders. Their uses of New Britain Superior Court has their Facebook page involved with them, also as World Trade Center crimes. If I try to speak about one crime, they move it off to the other. These are former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin, his lawyer, Robert Chevrolet, involved with them intercities of Connecticut, on off campuses of each age and nature. Whole bunch of people from Weathersfield, Connecticut, with the on off the state judicial branch offices, on off the state prison offices, involved also on along that route that goes right through towns, all along other routes, roads, and highways, rolls with the exits, rolls with locations next to churches, next to schools connected with human trafficking acts rules of WFSB also recorded. They pretend different things. They're recorded being used remotely by branches of government, also used remotely through their live progressions, recorded needed by them by logic with no criminal foreign influence. These are people forging names, switching names that our courts are involved with their whole family members, involved with all the other decisions, everything I've been doing, as they are actually recorded, pretending other things recorded into databases, forging names, switching names, pretending things recorded by police, human trafficking acts roles, individually grouped and together. Each branch of government, the executive branch, that means FBI, not just a whole bunch of other FBI, the Witness Protection Program, used by the same falsified police reports involved with child sex offenders' families, further involved with other natures of predicate acts delivery system method roles, with various natures of courts. A whole bunch of other nations keeping that. Then we talk about this, they have to admit they're actually recorded natures. Then we get punished for that by nations, hundreds of nations individually grouped it together, faking integrity here and there. There is a perfect world, and that's it. That leads. The rest proceeds. Return the campus name. Republics. What it means. See what people say, oh, concentrated value. It corrupts. I forgot who said it on CNN. So they make conviction with physical delusions. And these people are preventing you, the calm speech, to logic that is not criminally foreign influence, to logic that is not indifferent to worse than indifferent to sequence shifting. All that is actually recorded upon all locations, let alone the most forsaken areas. Worse than without free speech. Misprision, too. Uses of identities of the ground, each, all victim predators. Same way originally. This was left by our founders to demonstrate still entrenched. And how? This was left by modern religions to demonstrate still entrenched. How? But they don't have a first part of the Quran, first part of the Old Testament here and there. We're not allowed that free speech. We're not allowed to demonstrate all that's about. The sequence, true. Because we have sequence racketeering method, worse than racketeering method, sequence shifting method, and styles of pretending to be about positive anyway as criminal and ceases nature. Wrongdoers, mass wrongdoing, mass criminal and ceases natures of positive treatments, self-valuing that which is too. Each spot of each location, area in the state. criminally foreign influenced, positive treatments. A bridge, everyone needs to seek positive. So Weathersfield interbranches rolls with attaching people to fake locations, simultaneously stacking databases with pretended perceived things about us. Weathersfield school system was used by this also having, so they have insights towards this. This is in what originally still has juxtaposed other motivations, needs, interests that are even when they're real for the roles of the predicate acts and the wrongdoing involved, the methods of it involved. These are predicate act delivery system method roles, child abuses. They have their own family members involved. The family members of Weathersfield schools, because we have prosecutors' kids and judges that have been hiding their live progression, state's attorneys have been hiding their roles with DACA, with NAFTA, even the victim predators that made wealthy, the victims. Everyone's blaming the reason they're victims on other things other than self. So right why I want to do that, but now they're in the way of mandated law. Since before the World Trade Center attack, as the people enter private, into overt criminal enterprises, intercities, and worse than interstates involved with predicate acts, and rolls with the houses on my street that don't even realize it. It's not because their victim tries to form a director of the FBI. Federal criminals, overt criminal enterprises involved, you know, so people get uncomfortable. That's why you need people to follow mandated law. So you don't have to force strangers to speak, and where and how strangers are involved with the interbranch police and their family members, with the overt criminal enterprise, even with that how that is involved, which is in ways used to keep so they have to keep secrets because they have to pretend their integrity when they are not. They have depression recorded. Courts are roles. See, we have to counter where the courts are roles with private racketeering, worse than racketeering. Fabricating, falsifying police reports, forging names, switching names, mail crimes, wire crimes, database illusion stacking, tied to them more and more with locations. Offensively, you need to hide what they did and do and really are. They can't afford understood American history. They can't afford how human fact cheating nature was. The value being sought by the breaching method that was entrenched here, that American history is really about. How our founders didn't have free speech, how they didn't have but need and wanted us to be able to counter people who would pretend to be about the Constitution by, well, I'm an expert on which amendment is what. Free speech is free speech and sequence true. And so we have identity thefts, frauds, and worse than identity racketeering, originally and still, per methods where they have the motivations of people being lied about, self-valued through criminal foreign influences, that is also their roles with overt criminal enterprises and the stewards of the witness protection program, all involved further with predicate acts with child sex offenders' families, further involved with the complete strangers and their uses of their Facebook pages. New Britain Superior Court, Hartford courts, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with human trafficking with people from Central Connecticut State University that I was never on the location of the campus with. Through time, more and more, they keep switching that because they got caught in libel aggressions. They have communications departments involved with intercities through time. I have a affidavit of a Chris Walters, and he had to keep telling a guy named Kevin Dillon, no, I didn't say that. No, I didn't say that. He would keep writing other. He's involved with my new and past neighbors with child sex offenders, medical offenders, medical predicate acts, clicks, rolls with this. Judicial predicate acts, clicks, rolls. Pretending recorded things into databases, lying about what is actually recorded over Facebook. Through administrations, right through the Obama administration, which is important because it is so easy to discern the physical delusions the science's stewards have, juxtaposed with their criminally foreign influence premises treatments when they make opinions about what Jim Crow laws were about, when they make opinions about what any value, any word slash value, because when identity of volume is increasing, how it is increasing is discernible. Because we have to have free speech in sequence true. Otherwise, see, this method built all positions of all locations, areas, and states criminally foreign influenced, so manifest. For that, again, the value of this, the target of the need of this breaching method that is fluent through each modern nation, per the method that began since before modern religion's messengers. Thank God for them. God is a variable with logic where we're not sure if we're right or wrong. So we use that when we think we're right. But we're supposed to be at the same simultaneously using what is true always, not denying exceptions, not valuing them being denied and having been denied. As they are with the summary convictions of each of the sciences. Fake sides of correlation natures, body of value progression, which is by the identity of relativity. In theory, comes from that, but see, we have offensively the theory of relativity. Physical delusions first, not our means. One way redeems. So we'll learn. So what I'm trying to say is there people I never had a conversation with in grammar school, and that's part of their roles with how they have the value of a boy, the value of girl, in relationship to experts on mental health that are with their whole identity, the ground locations, and with the courts themselves, involved with all locations, areas, states, criminally foreign influence kept needing to hide live progressions per this other method of predicate acts delivery system as a predicate acts delivery system. That which would that would that which had entrenched slavery as a database relationship. What people could say in relationship to it. So this is a contest too. YouTube, who will fund YouTube ground, and I'll fund it. I mean, I'll give the script so it'll be totally owned, but it won't move forward until we have. And this will. In other words, the whole country will work. We have to do this every country at the same time. Which why would they not want to? We're gonna reveal the identity of the ground from its tactically denatured relationship to and as the value of our value progression. The value between that and our quality of fact, truth, nature are invisible but still discernible. like our fact treatment nature relationship to zoning laws, sequence nature, identity. Identity is a nature of volume that is self-generating. This is how one identity of value progression is distinctly, non-distinctly, and simultaneously onto its inherent nature of volume, its active nature of volume, and its progressive nature of volume as one identity's identity of volume. That identity of volume is identity of relationship to itself and the value of that. That is the Trinity. That is what the Jesus Christ's Trinity is about, where he says he is the Alpha and he is the Omega. See, the 26 sounds of the English language have an identity of relationship to themselves that was revealed. It wasn't invented. The languages, just like humanity, individual, grouped, and species. The sounds of the other languages are also the same way, value, individually grouped, and species. They are with everything in demonstration of the identity of relativity, which is increasing identity of value. Its identity is why we all long clean water. Its identity is all why we all long understanding, revelations. See, humanity's course is a course of an as a series of connected revelations that were worse than shortchanged per method that was consciously engineering everyone propagated, blaming other things other than themselves. Where and how every single person of every position, of every location, area, and state has a nervous system leveraged against logic with sequence true. The order to the finite facts, treatments actual, not deny exceptions. Active, progressive, not making everything up. We have. Are maintained per breaching method only capable of the suits and ties of modern nations, the lawyers, the bar itself, criminally foreign influence, delusions wrought, premises treatments, sequence treatments, standing nature treatments. They are standing criminal insidious natures when people speak for the law, not by accident. We are shock and awe. In this method that gets our most sophisticated to then make others shock and awe and tell us to get along with it. They used Mueller and Comey with CNN roles with all kinds of predicate acts, delivery system method roles, and with cases and with depositions and with problems with all locations, areas, and roles. They have roles with self-value because they need to keep pretending to be about positive when correlation shows they are not. Correlation also shows the means to relief that are here that they can't because they can't defend themselves at the same time, not by accident, as victims, but as victim predators when it comes down to following mandated law now. So New Britain Superior Court is recorded, confessed, and this is New Britain Superior Court is 3 towns over from Wethersfield, Connecticut. They are also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved interlibraries. These are people. There's something associated with the Webb Stevens house, which was originally the Webb house with no just Webb house, which is a semi-indicator. There's plausibly an indicator that and how, which is true, really. they couldn't agree about things and why they couldn't agree about it and how they couldn't agree and what was exploiting that and how it was exploiting it, not just as the nature. It was being used remotely in relationship to databases since before computers. This in relationship to this ancient republic's campus system, this ancient republic's value were revealed by the species working together. This engineered reactions to what everyone was built, blaming other things, others themselves, not realizing the whole time it was making victim predators, abridged sciences. The same reason that the surface values of the Constitution have to be valued simultaneously. Same reason why we have to have more than one language value at the same time. Because we have to pay attention to this identity of value progression. Its identity of relationship to itself and the value of that. And the value of that further, which goes with science demonstrating how we are a trinity. That is also the phenomenon of two identities of sequence nature that do mix with us one way non-distinctly. Can't help it. But distinctly, we can be other. Then its identity of relationship to itself, which will only stay positive. We're now we are automatically temporary positive. It is simultaneously while we are making and being more and more positive or negative as a quality of diffusion, our identity as value to it, one identity of value progression as the identity of forever nature that made temporary nature to make more forever nature and make it perfect value progression or force from here for not staying on that system, lethal IDs, not for per science, not per faith. This is per faith. These are terms of religion, but these religions help preserve Jesus Christ. That's why on Yale's website they don't say it like this, but that's why, and they will. Once when people get connected voices, then you wipe through what intersciences maintain needed obfuscated. For example, why and how there is a predicate named the predicate of English. Why and how the predicate act of the law is named the predicate act in relationship again to this predicate act's delivery system method, this criminalization nature delivery system method. What is that simultaneously delivery system of? Treatments of positive, treatments of identity that can't stand. Logic without criminal foreign influences and with sequence true. So we have victims. They use the phrase "perfect world." There's a Connecticut Whiting forensics place that is involved with a Phil Colon and with a Scalora family, with identity thefts, with houses in my area involved with them, with predicate acts with FBI and with federal criminals and overt criminal enterprises, and their roles with predicate acts with the killers spots and people associated with that interbranch, associated with other nations and with the stewards of the witness protection program, all tied to my area and to this Phil Claw, people tied to this Phil Claw, involved with a whole bunch of people tied to them, like two Mendes police, with predicate acts roles on and off the Wethersfield Police Department, on and off New Britain Superior Court, and with many others with them on and off campuses through time. They never had camp classes with me. I never saw him around campus. The only time I ever saw him inside of the campus was one time in middle school. Eric Mendez. Now, see, these people are doing. They were locking people so they wouldn't get caught with what they're doing. And then they needed to hide their life progressions as their roles. They had to hide all these predicate acts against American citizens. They're incapable of having a case in all kinds of natures of Connecticut courts, Connecticut District Court, New Britain Superior Court, Hartford Superior Court, other Hartford courts, probate courts, involved with children, involved with crimes against them, involved with elderly, involved with medical stuff. There's wicked medical corruption associated with Connecticut courts and them interstates, because this is also all private tied to them. All value treatments, all positive and negative treatments. There are 5 identities of sequence nature that are value progressions. As this one identity of value progression, its identity of relationship to itself and the value of that, again, 2 other ways simultaneously. And that is simultaneously value to what? Forces that away from here or reveals it with and as more of evolution's fruits and gifts. We are value as an invisible. We are value because as physical bodies manifest the way they are, the trinity, the cell nucleus, cell body, cell wall, that physical trinity is manifest. Those three identities of sequence nature, they have more than water and air coming through. What is on both sides of the cell wall, the cell body, and the cell nucleus at the same time. Only the extent of it is debatable. But even the debate, even the what is observable is debatable. So they could keep self-value, all identity ground locations and sciences locations, especially, and private, especially differentially, because these are also overt criminal enterprises involved with now these are houses like an Anthony Agman. He lives next to the high school. I don't know where he lives now. Him and he has 3 brothers and his family associated with houses next to the high school. Involved with, there's houses in your town. Just because you live in a town, it can be a small town. You don't know the people. They're pretending you to fake locations with them. They've been through time just pretending to record things with locations tied to their interbranch doing this and having done this. Dozens of people with New Britain Superior Court retired and standing. Dozens of people associated with Hartford courts retired and standing. Leading up to and in the World Trade Center attack roles, they have roles with predicate acts. With all the cases that went before them. Originally and still, every time they open their mouths, they're lying to themselves and to others. Each branch of government. To hurt people. Then keep only criminally foreign influenced roles, natures, needs, fake positive, criminal ceases natures, positive fake. Now this is WFSB, Fox Connecticut News, were involved with it, with New Britain Spirit Corps, also with online, with their Facebook pages, with predicate acts, with sex offenders' families of other natures, and with interbranch family members. WFSB recorded, confessed, and demonstrated they have a O'Neill family involved with them with lipoaggressions because their predicate acts rolls with kids, also with medical families, foreign and domestic, involved with untimely deaths. And with their involvements were through other natures of predicate acts, delivery system, predicate acts roles and wrongdoing roles, sequence shift roles, identity thefts, frauds, and racketeering with the locations of the untimely deaths, uses of them for these other things. And they also have this method where they don't let people know the names of others, where they switch and forge names with areas